According to Tom Pelissero, three-time Pro Bowl tight end, Zach Ertz is signing with the Washington Commanders on a one-year deal up to only $5 million, and it also is a reunion for Zach Ertz and former Cardinals head coach Kliff Kingsbury, who is now the new offensive coordinator here for the Washington Commanders, and now they add some more weapons for their potential new quarterback in maybe Drake May, maybe Jayden Daniels, or maybe they go the other way and keep Sam Howell or bring in a free agent. Now, in this video, I wanted to take a flashback to when he was here with Kliff Kingsbury and how they used him in their offense. But before we deep dive into some film, I do want to say this is a massive pickup, right? A one-year deal just a couple of days after they let go of Logan Thomas, their starting tight end. So right away, he is a massive upgrade for a big need that they needed to address in the offseason. And they do it, quite frankly, before the offseason even really begins. Now, he's a three-time All-Pro Bowl selection guy, has over 700 catches for over 7,400 yards, and 46 touchdowns as well. Right, so on this play, we see him run some pre-snap motion, get over here to the slot, and now what we're going to see him run is basically an out. Right? So boom, some play action. Now, one thing I do want to ask you guys as Commanders fans is, who do you want the quarterback to be throwing to Zach Ertz, throwing to Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson over here in Washington? But look at this route here. We know this is zone coverage. Uchenna Nwosu playing this hook curl. You got a mid read here and a go route out here to take away the deep DB. And here we go, just a nice little clean out route here by Zach Ertz. A little bit of needs to lead him to the outside a little bit more here, but I guarantee you, if you bring in a Drake May or a Jayden Daniels, they're going to build a connection right away with Zach Ertz that could be really, really special. Now, one thing I really do love about Zach Ertz, and I think he's going to be huge here in his first season in Washington, for one big reason. While he was in Arizona, he kind of led as that safety net for Kyler Murray, especially in the younger seasons. The first couple of seasons he was here in Arizona, he was that blanket that he could just dump the ball off to here, and you're going to see a lot in this video. He's just that guy who can come and give you a couple of 4 or 5 yard pickups, give you some tight first downs over the middle, and just continue to move the chains. And like we said before, Zach Ertz has always been that sort of touchdown red zone threat guy. You see him here at the top of your screen, lined up versus a DB. Now, whenever you have this type of matchup, you want to look at one thing, this safety. If you get a double team up the top side here on Zach Ertz, you probably don't want to throw this ball. However, if you get one-on-one coverage here between Zach Ertz and a DB, you probably take this shot 99% of the time, right? Especially if you're a team like the Commanders, right? You want that big body tight end in the back of the end zone. So right away, Kyler Murray reads this safety. He's looking up at Kyler, and he's taking a step up, leaving just one-on-one coverage over the middle with Zach Ertz, lobs it up, perfect pass, and I'm telling you, we might be seeing a lot of Drake May to Zach Ertz in the end zone next season. Now, as of right now, all signs are pointing to the Commanders actually taking Drake May over anyone else in this NFL draft. A lot of people don't think they'll trade up to one. That just doesn't seem like a realistic option here as the Bears, continue to lock in on a guy like Caleb Williams. But Drake May, Jayden Daniels, and anyone else will be there at number 2 for the Commanders. And one thing I know about Drake May is he is a go-getter. He is someone who loves his tight ends, and I think Zach Ertz could rejuvenate this offense here for the Commanders, especially with Kliff Kingsbury coming in and making sure that not only Drake May, progresses at a quarterback, but make sure he has a guy that he can really trust to throw the football, even 4 or 5 yards down the field when he needs to just have that security blanket, right? Now, we know what Kliff Kingsbury has done over his career with quarterbacks. I mean, you look at Kyler Murray in Rookie of the Year, you look at Johnny Manziel back in college, was nasty, and that was under Kliff Kingsbury. We talked about Kyler Murray, or we already talked about that, Caleb Williams in college this year. I mean, Caleb Williams has been amazing, and you know what? Kliff Kingsbury is kind of like that QB whisperer. He gets the most out of his quarterbacks, and whoever you bring in here to Washington, just know right away you're going to have a nice little tight end to utilize over the middle of the field. Now, before we get any further into this video about Zach Ertz, do me a big favor, guys. Hit that like button so we can get this video out to more Commanders fans around the world, but also subscribe to the channel. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and we're going to be posting Commander videos throughout the rest of this season. Now, do me a quick favor. Who is your dream quarterback to come to the Commanders this offseason? Is it Drake May, Jaden Daniels, a free agent like Russell Wilson for very cheap? Who do you guys want to be the next quarterback of the Washington Commanders? But also check out what Drake May had to say about the Washington Commanders during the draft combine.
Coach Quinn, it was great. He's kind of clicked right off the bat. He's a great, great guy, and great coach. The stuff he's done defensively with the Cowboys over the past year has been pretty special. So meeting in there, and Coach recruited me in high school from Stanford, so got to know him a little bit. And Coach Kingsbury knows my office winner from college, so we got a lot of connections.
Drake, what did you take away from your meeting?
Here we go on this play, 5 wide, empty set. We're looking at Zach Ertz right over the middle here. You got one-on-one with this linebacker, depending on if it's man or zone. Right away, we look at it, looks like straight man covered with 2 deep safety look. And once we see that, you're going to see these outside receivers draw these safeties backwards, leaving this one-on-one. And we know Zach Ertz is a solid route runner enough to get open on a linebacker. And this is, I believe, Jordan Brooks, who is a pretty decent coverage linebacker. Perfect timing, great throw, comes back to the football. Another thing you love to see out of your tight end. Overall, guys, I think this is a very solid addition here for the Washington Commanders. Now, let me know in the comments down below. Give me a letter grade. Do you think it's a B+, a C? I'm going to go with an A, just because the straight fact that, Kliff Kingsbury gets his guy, right? He spent a decent amount of time here with Zach Ertz. He knows his play style. He knows where he wants to football. He knows what routes he's already really good at, right? And you talk about a rookie quarterback who needs the safety net. I know I brought that up a lot in this video already, but that is very, very, very important when it comes to a young quarterback trying to develop, trying to learn his players, and really when, the pressure's coming, when, they're getting to the quarterback, you want someone he can just be like, okay, I trust this guy in a one-on-one situation. Let me throw it up and see if he can go get the football. Now, in terms of everything else that the Commanders are doing this season, I think they've done an amazing job, right? You bring in Dan Quinn, a very, very, very good defensive-minded coach. With the Falcons, even with Dallas, he was amazing. You bring in a couple of coordinators that are really going to change the game defensively for the DB room, and Whitt Jr, right? I believe his name is. And then, Kliff Kingsbury is the quarterback whisperer. And this is the season you would want a quarterback, right? There's so many different options in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins and, Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams or Drake May. There's so many different options. Or you can keep Sam Howell, who isn't the worst quarterback in the world. I feel like, he's been getting some hate as of late. But at the same time, I think, Kliff Kingsbury has some things he can do here. And if he wants to make a big splash, you bring in, Drake May and have him have, a nice, real target in Zach Ertz alongside Dotson and, Terry McLaurin. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Join the family. This is the first season with Adam Peters and Dan Quinn and Kingsbury in the staff. I think they're going to make a big splash this free agency with a ton of money to spend, right? They just cleared some cap with Charles Leno and Logan Thomas and have already made their first move.